same guitar and amp for everything, obviously, and I'll show you how through changing the pickups and, more importantly, changing how I play, hopefully I can emulate what these guys were saying. So let's do a shuffle in A. The first guy turned me on to blues, like a lot of other people, was Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he played a Strat. He made me want to get a Strat, but the main part of his sound, again, it's in his fingers, and I'll try playing some of the licks that I got from him, and show you how that sounded. Started with, and it was a good place to start because he could really play guitar. He was pretty impressive, and I started taking lessons from a guy who turned me on to the old blues guys, and he went way back. And the first guy I really liked was Freddie King, because he also had a very aggressive style. He did play a Les Paul, actually. The way he plays, he played really hard, and he would put his palm on the very back of the strings here by the bridge, and he'd get a real muted sound, but he would play it real hard, and that just gives you a whole different tone. You hear it? That's regular. Muted. And he also had a whole wicked vibrato thing that he would do, and sometimes I can get it. He's a really big, large, strong, angry man, kind of like I can be. Kind of why he resonated with me, and he would play this one note sometimes, especially in the 70s, where he'd just get a real searing tone, and just get this vibrato bending up to this note, and it was not pretty. It just really sounded like he was crying with the guitar, and it was kind of like this. Freddie King sounded to me. And there were other guys, like when I first started playing, when I first got into blues, I got some records by B.B. King, And I'll say that today I think B.B. King is the greatest guitar player that ever lived on the electric guitar. I don't, a little John Blues Boys over there.
I know, I saw that. I'm on it.
So, I think without the way B.B. King played, you know, we wouldn't have guys like, we wouldn't have rock guitar basically. Because before him, you had guys like T-Bone Walker, you know, who would, you know, they played electric guitar, they bent strings, but there was one thing that didn't do it. Now T-Bone would play kind of like this. He's bending. And he played way down by the bridge. Well, B.B. King kind of took his style and he added, you know, what's probably the most effective emotional thing you ever can do on a guitar. That's to bend the note and then add vibrato to it. And pretty much before B.B. King, only slide players would do that, you know. And they didn't really bend them; they just slid up to them. But he would go like this. Invented, you know, the concept of utilizing sustain and you know, an early form of distortion on the guitar, and you know, that's one of the ways you can really say a lot more with a lot fewer notes, like that. So that was B.B. King's influence. When I really got into B.B. King, that's when I started thinking he was the greatest guy ever. But at first, you know, he didn't sound that impressive to me, you know. And there's a lot of great subtleties in blues playing and stuff that you know, that people miss and they skip by it when they learn the stuff. You know, even they got this little thing called the B.B. King box. That'll be one of the things I'll show you on guitar. You know, and it's like when I started out playing. You know, like I said, the blues scale or the minor pentatonic scale, sometimes with an added fifth. And this little position is where I would be at. Now that's fine. You can do a lot with that, you know. That's where Freddie King lived most of his life. B.B. King later also started playing up here in this position where you actually, in A, your root will be on your 10th fret on the B string. And to get all technical and academic about it, that's actually a major pentatonic scale, which is why that sounds a lot sweeter and happier than the, which is all tough sounding. But down here, happy blues. Okay, I went a little bit into the sad blues there on the end, but that's that's what a lot of people. I think they still call. I don't know if it's in Webster's dictionary, but a lot of people call that the BB King box. And for a lot of people, that's about how far deep into BB King as they go. Oh, I know the BB King box. And it fits anywhere. If you get blues guys, I'm sure a lot of you, are blues guitar players. If the band starts doing a song that's real sweet and pretty sounding, then doing this, it's not always going to fit. And that's when you use your BB King box. So that was BB King. But there was another guy, the third king, that did, BB. That's right, Albert. I hit my jewelry. And Albert, now he was a real unorthodox player. BB, BB King added this. He added that thing to the guitar vocabulary. What Albert added, besides just his awesome sound and his licks, I think Albert King was probably the first blues guy, and this concept really caught on that he came up with. He's probably the first blues guy to come up with the concept of really long guitar solos. Because if any of you ever saw him at the Fillmore in the '68, he'd do slow blues for 10 minutes, and before that they were 3 or 2.5 minutes. And as I said, it was in '68, so it caught on pretty big. And he had a very unorthodox style of playing. He played with his fingers. And he played upside down and left-handed, which means his skinny E string was on the bottom of the guitar. I got a guitar strung like that, but I didn't bring it with me, so I'm going to try and show you a little bit of Albert King's sound with this here, as they say, regular guitar. He put some other stuff in there too. This is not church. You're allowed to clap.